welcome to NOAC Tonight. I'm Mitch Leonard. With me this evening is 2015 Northeast Region Chief Matt Bell and Western Region Chief Nathan Lee. So guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. We're going to take some questions from Twitter and see what everyone has to say for the Meet the Man session.
Awesome.
So to start it off with, you're a national officer of the Order of the Arrow. And so just tell me, what is it like to be a national officer, and what do you do as the Northeast Region Chief, or what do you do as the Western Region Chief?
One of the big parts of my job as Northeast Region Chief is I get to travel. I get to go to events with lodges and sections and people who've been putting on great program, people who are interested in having me come out and to see what they're doing. I get to meet a lot of really awesome people, get to do a lot of really cool stuff that as a scout or as an airman or as a college student I wouldn't get to do. It's been a really beneficial experience, I feel, and I've gotten to do a lot of things that I never would have gotten the chance to do before.
Awesome. And Nathan, what do you do as the Western Region Chief?
Well, one of the really cool things that I get to do is provide a cool resource for a lot of the members and lodges in the region. Obviously, our region is fairly large, covering an entire ocean, Asia, and it's an incredible opportunity to get to provide to them some resources that they wouldn't always have access to. So handing out my phone number to them, getting calls at 2 a.m. Because of the different time zones. They're in a completely different time zone, so they're calling at 2 p.m. their time, and I'm on the phone then talking about best practices for a lodge ordeal. So that's one of the really cool things that I like to do is be in constant contact with some of those lodge chiefs and even a couple chapter chiefs that I've met over the term, just getting to really share with them things that they may not have access to because of the position I'm in.
For sure. And how does it feel to be a part of the Centennial, the 100th anniversary, the culmination of our order? How does it feel?
It's awesome. Being a part of this, being a part of the Centennial, being a part of the Order. It's a great day always to be a part of the Order of the Arrow. And to be a part here, the Centennial celebration has been breathtaking. At the opening show, whenever we were getting ready to make our entrance, that's whenever it really hit me. Not only that this year was real, but that this conference was real and that the experience we were about to have was real. It had been almost since my freshman year of high school that I had been nervous talking in front of people, and that did it. Getting down in the arena, that's what did it. And it's been breathtaking. It's been amazing. It's been a wild ride, and I can't wait to see where it takes me.
Awesome.
It's definitely an incredible experience. After the election, it started to slowly ease into the reality of it, and it just kept going back to the whole luck of it. The luck that I was in the right place at the right time, and more importantly, that my parents decided to have a child at the right time. So otherwise, that wouldn't have worked out too well. So that was helpful. But it's truly an incredible experience to get to see not only what's going on this year and the century ahead, but get to look back and really reflect and see all that's going on here, looking back at the last 100 years. I know more about the Order now in the last 5 months that we've been talking about it than I ever did before that. And it's truly great to get to see all that and see how we've progressed from the last 100 years and how we're going to progress into the next 100 years.
Awesome. And so you've come a long way. You're standing in front of 15,000 airmen. How did you get to these positions? Tell us a little bit of your scouting career and where did you start? How did you get here?
Once I was inducted into the lodge, I took my foothold in the lodge in ceremonies. They brought me onto the ceremonies team, first of all, as a runner. People who, whenever they get to the ceremony circle, would be like, "Oh crap, we don't have tiki torch fluid or something like that." They would send me running through the woods to go get it. And from there, I got to shadow the guys. I picked up on that kind of stuff. I got on the ceremonies team. That's where people really started to get to know me. From there, I was voluntold as lodge vice chief of administration. I was really nervous about that at first and took it on and served 2 terms as that, and then kind of the same situation as lodge chief. I became lodge chief, and from there, one of my advisors pulled me aside a couple weeks before conclave and said, "Hey, you should consider running for section chief." And I thought, well, I don't know about that, and I ran, and I was lucky enough to get elected, and it was the same situation as far as region chief goes. They said, you should give it a try, and I thought, if nothing else, I'll give it a shot, and I can walk away from this and say I gave it my all, and it worked out. It was in the cards, and it's been crazy ever since.
Awesome, thanks, Matt. Nathan, how'd you get to be the West Region Chief? Where'd you start?
Scouting's in my blood. My dad was an Eagle Scout. Both of my older brothers, Eagle Scouts from the exact same troop. So it's always been a part of like my family and everything we do. So when I was a little bit younger, one of my good friends got elected in the order, and then a year later I decided to because I saw how much he loved it. And one of the really cool things was I got inducted, and then right after that I went to a conclave, which was really fun, and then I started to get voluntold to go do chapter ceremonies throughout the council. So I was on several occasions doing 3 Arrow of Lights an evening, just driving from place to place. So that was an awesome experience to get to have, similar to here at NOAC, just going place to place, experiencing everything. And so after that, a couple of years later, I started to get really involved at the lodge level, ended up becoming a CVC for our conclave, and then ran for section vice chief, got that. And then a year later after that became a section chief, thankfully. And then in Dallas, same thing as Matt, just happened to be in the cards for the year.
Awesome. So you've met a lot of people, and you've inspired a lot of people, but I'm sure you've been inspired yourselves. So tell me, about a certain mentor who has gotten you to here, or a scouting, mentor who has guided you.
Absolutely. Kind of, I guess, an off-the-wall answer. One of my biggest mentors, one of my biggest driving forces in scouting has actually been my little brother. My brother's here at conference as a guest. He's 16 years old. His name's Justin, and he was someone who all through Cub Scouts and stuff, did stuff even though he wasn't old enough to be a Cub Scout. He essentially did the Cub Scout program twice because he did it with me and then he did it on his own. And he was someone who he always had a passion for scouting. He always really enjoyed it. It was something that really spoke to him and something that he's really taken the bull by the horns on. Seeing his fire and the dedication that he throws into the order and scouting is something that's always inspired me to continue to do more, because whenever, even 2 years in age difference, whenever I'm done, he's still got time. He's still got time to make his difference, and I want to impart to him as much as he has imparted to me what it means to work hard, what it means to care about what you're doing, and to really make a difference that way.
Awesome.
Well, one of my biggest influences has been a young man by the name of Quentin Lum, a good friend of mine from my troop. Started staffing NYLTs with him. And then right after that, he started to get really, really involved with the order, picking up ceremonies and lodge vice chiefs. And so I kind of started to see everything he was doing, and he pulled me along to every chapter ceremony that had to be done because nobody else could apparently make it. I think he was joking. Other people should have been doing it. But he pulled me along to those, and just getting to see him not only in scouting, but also getting to see him outside of scouting because we became such good friends. Just so fiercely intent on making everybody feel like they matter and like they have something to contribute to everything was incredible. And he's really the reason I started to feel what the order was more than just seeing it, and start to feel how he affected me and that same effect that I could have on other people throughout the order, as well as taking it back to my regular life.
Awesome. So a question that a lot of people like to know, and I think this is nationwide at every event, what are your Vigil names, and what do they translate to?
Matt?
My Vigil name is Machu Takachin Alogagan, and it translates to leader who serves others.
It's an incredibly long name.
Indeed.
It's a mouthful.
Best remember that. Yolt Tum Tum Tecope Talipus. It means cheerful pale coyote.
Tum Tum.
I'm
Chief
pale.
Tum Tum.
Quite pale. We don't get a lot of sun in Seattle.
Makes sense. So another question, with all of your travels, what is the coolest lodge flap, other than your own, of course? What is the coolest lodge flap that you've seen?
Coolest lodge flap?
One of the Alaska lodges. I got to see it at our conference, our conclave, excuse me. It has a spinning, like a pinwheel for a helicopter on it. So like the patch moves. It's insane.
That's awesome.
I'm really careful when I put it down places because I'm afraid I'm gonna like bend it or snap it or something. But the flap moves.
Dang.
Yeah. Cool. Have fun now. See if you can top it.
I met a lodge that one of the guys, one of the like adult advisors in their lodge works for like a leather company, and does like leather engraving and stuff like that. And he had a lodge flap on his uniform that was leather, and it was the same design. And it took me a while to realize what it was. That one was really cool. It was a really interesting process that he had with it, and that was it wasn't a normal lodge flap per se, I guess, but that was one of the most interesting ones I found. It was really cool.
Awesome. So last scouting related question. You've already talked about, being able to travel, but where is that one place as a region chief that you've looked forward to traveling or that you've already been that was, I really want to travel there when I'm a, national officer or something?
I want to go to Puerto Rico, dang it. The Northeast region covers Puerto Rico, and I don't have it set yet, but I want to go to Puerto Rico. Nathan?
Japan. So we're just going all the way away from America, I guess.
We're getting away. We're getting away.
Yeah, Japan actually is in the Western region, fun fact, as is the rest of Asia, as well as Australia. So that would be a cool one. I think we're supposed to have an NLS there in the next coming years. So I'm looking forward to that one. That will be fun.
Serious answer, though. Later in the year, I have it planned to go to an NLS in Colorado with Nathan.
Yes.
Serving as a staffer there. So I'm really excited to get out. I had never been to the West until I went to Philmont this summer, and I loved it. I'm really excited to get out there to Denver to do an NLS out there. So that's one that I'm on the horizon. I'm really looking forward to at this point.
Awesome.
Mine was also serious.
Yeah.
Mine was serious.
I'll just stick to the corn of Iowa. So that's fine.
There you go.
Gotta love it.
So unrelated scouting question. How old are you? Where do you go to school? Majoring in? Tell us about your schooling, whatever.
Awesome. Well, I'm 19 years old, and I'm studying at Lock Haven University of Pennsylvania. It's a small state school, right around 8,000 students in the heart of Pennsylvania, in the shadow of Penn State. I'm studying geology and environmental studies there, and hopefully someday to work in conservation.
I work with rocks.
Rocks. I'm a rock guy.
Rocks. I myself am also 19. I'm currently at the Cascadia Community College in Seattle, working on my AA so that I can transfer down to University of Texas, actually where Alex Call goes as well. So that'll be a fun little adventure for us. The plan is to study advertising specifically. I want to go into advertising for smaller companies, possibly open a consulting firm as well.
Oh, awesome. So, sure you don't have a lot of free time, but what do you do if you don't have a scouting weekend, not at a meeting?
Sleep. 100%. Straight through.
I also eat whenever I have free weekends, and one of my favorite activities that I've kind of picked up through school is rock climbing. Something that's kind of fell by the wayside during my year of travel, but it's definitely something that I've enjoyed. I've made it down to Adventure Central a couple times. Hope to get on those rock walls. It looks pretty cool. That's been something that's I really tried to take on, and something that keeps me pretty busy. Gets me outside, which is always a plus.
It's good. Always good. I'm really into basketball. And kind of outdoorsy type sports. Yeah, interesting. I don't play well. I don't play well.
If you're into basketball, then why didn't the national officers win against the national committee?
They cheat. They're cheaters.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Ken Davis punched me. If you know Ken Davis, he hit me.
All right.
Yes. No, but getting out running, just kind of seeing the outside. It's hard for me to be trapped indoors too long, especially when we're in airplanes or conference rooms so often. So getting outside, whether I'm good or not, practicing basketball. Obviously, I'm not good since we lost to the older generation. So
I'm content.
Yeah,
content.
yeah. So another question: what is your favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject in school?
Lunch.
Rocks. Final answer.
Final answer. I'm big into history. I like certain aspects of history and lunch.
All right.
So if they can find a way to make those work together,
cool.
We're set.
So do you prefer cake or pie?
Cake or pie? Well, funny story. I have a certain aversion to gluten. I have a gluten allergy. So one that is made without gluten. Either one. But I'm a pie guy. I like pie better.
Okay.
I'm more of a cake kind of guy. A good cake is a great way to end a party or a night.
So are you more of a cake or a cupcake person?
Cupcake, definitely.
Good.
Then you don't have to try to share it. Cut it the right size and make sure it's all nice and pretty. You just take it.
Well, then you can make your pieces bigger if you get a real cake.
It's true.
Yeah, but you still have to share with someone.
Yeah, and you're not going to sit with a
Depends
whole
on the
cake.
size.
You're not going to sit with a whole cake. That's just sad.
So since you're from Washington, we already know your answer, but Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks?
What would you say if I said Dunkin' Donuts?
High five.
Mine's Starbucks.
All right. So
I don't have a choice.
I have a very complicated answer. So we have a Starbucks on campus and we have a Dunkin' Donuts just off campus. Dunkin' Donuts is open all night, but Starbucks takes the fake college money. So it's as long as Starbucks is open, I'm going there. But if it's after hours, I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts.
Awesome. So what is your go-to snack when it is midnight and you just look at their fridge? What's your go-to?
Chili. Well, you microwave it, so it's quick. It's quick. It's microwave chili.
I prefer cold chili. So.
Cool. Well, straight out of the can, right? Just go for it. No shame. Yeah, it's nice. It keeps you going.
Chili.
Keeps you up. Yeah.
All right. I like chocolate. I'm a chocolate guy. If I have chocolate in the room at late hours of the night, they better watch out. Or anytime. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So an interesting question we got for Donnie the other day, but I'll ask you because I really like it. What is your favorite digits of pi? And it needs to be at least 4.
Oh crap.
3.14. Hi, took the easy ones. Simply
5,
because they're at the beginning.
I'm trying to think of a clever answer, but I got nothing. 3.141592.6. Just because I made it farther than Nathan. Those are my
Wonderful. Well, you got me there.
So I know with all the travels and everything, you probably don't get to drive a whole lot to different events. But what type of car do you drive?
I drive a silver Chevy Impala that my mom was kind enough to buy a new car and let me drive.
A faded tan Oldsmobile Bravada.
Nice. All right.
Solid.
So when you're in your car, what's the station? What genre? What's your favorite music?
All right. So where I live in the heart of Pennsylvania, I'd say roughly 95% of the radio stations are country. And after a while, that gets really, really old. So if I can find like a today's hits kind of station, like a rock station, those are my go-to when I'm driving by myself.
I tend to more listen to my iPod, which has kind of like the best of everything type thing. Seattle's very indie rock, I guess, so a lot of that, which is interesting. And then some good country songs thrown in there for those southern boys. And then and then obviously Taylor Swift. Obviously.
All right. So what is your favorite Taylor Swift song?
All right. So the version of Bad Blood with Kendrick Lamar. That's my new jam.
That's good. It's really a tough one. They're all such powerful messages.
If you're 13.
Hey,
female.
you know what? 22. I'm gonna go 22.
22 and a female.
22 and a female.
Cool.
Awesome. So another question we got, more scouting related, but if you could tell someone, or if you could tell a first-time guest here at NOAC, what would that one thing be?
If I could tell them one thing.
Yes.
Do all that you can. Sleep is for the ride home.
I'm also a first-time guest here at NOAC. This is my first NOAC, and so I'm taking it in just like everyone else that's here for the first time. It's an incredible opportunity to take advantage of everything you can. You only get one conference like this. It's truly one of a kind. Everything that's going on here, the hub is your go-to. Check it out. Do everything there you can. Do it multiple times if you enjoy it. Just get out and do things. Don't just sit around and waste time away.
Awesome. So what is the most exciting part of NOAC, or Nathan, since this is your first NOAC, what are you most excited for if it hasn't already happened?
I think OA Warrior was terrifying but incredible. It was really cool to get to see that I had done it. It was terrible going through it. A lot of physical effort in a really hot day. So it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Largest slide in the world, inflatable slide. It's 4 stories tall or something. Yeah, we don't get that in most places. So it's just incredible opportunities. getting to hurdle like one-story hay bales. It's truly incredible. I don't think I'll ever get to see something like that again.
Is it a bird? It's a plane? No, it's the Western Region Chief.
Western Region Chief.
All right, so I'm stoked to Runaway Warrior. I didn't get a chance to the other day. Also, we had a little friendly competition between the regions today on the BMX course, which, you know, one region smoked the other regions, but I'm not going to get into that. It was a really good time. I definitely, you know, they're open for one more day. Check that out. It was really cool. Awesome, like almost professional grade course. Really sick. Blew me away whenever I saw just how intense the course was. I was expecting like a couple little bumps and then like, you know, go around the tree, but you know, it was awesome. It was sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for those that aren't able to join us here at conference, what is something that you would like to tell them, you know, and just talk about the Centennial?
The Centennial year is more than just this conference. It's a turning point, but it's a place for us to look back, but more importantly, it's a place for us to go forward. It's that jumping point for all of us here to say, hey, we did a good job for the last 100 years. Good job on us and good job on all the past airmen. But now it's our time to keep it going and better it. It's really, truly an incredible opportunity to get to see that change in 100 years, moving into the second century. This is the jumping point. Start now and keep it going for the next 100 years and make it even better than anyone could have ever imagined.
To kind of piggyback off that, it's not the event, it's the experience. It's what you make of it. I mean, NOAC is not the be-all, end-all for the Centennial or for the Order of the Arrow. The Centennial is what you make of it. We have a great time here at NOAC. That's great. If you couldn't make it, you know, don't worry about it. All right. There's so much that's going on. There's so much that's taking place all around the world, or all around the nation for the Centennial. Take not so much the program that's going on here, focus on the messages and the content, and really take those to heart, embody those, use those to guide you. Is a line one of the ceremonies says, "We let the Spirit fill us." It's not about per se what's going on here. It's about what all of us here as an organization are doing and what we're doing to make this special.
Awesome. And so, for Alex, he had a wonderful speech tonight. And so to end on our last question here, how do you feel about his challenge, his dare to all of us, dare to do?
I'm stoked. I'm really excited.
I'm on board, 100%.
You think do you also believe that it will be this huge initiative that will change not only just society? How do you feel? I love it.
I think for the next 100 days, not only the 15,000 people that were here that got to hear it, but everyone around the nation, when they get to hear it, have an incredible opportunity not to just create a single ripple, as is our logo. It's an opportunity. 15,000 drops is a lot of water. It's a big opportunity we have to change a lot more than just one or two people around us, but to change the culture and how people view each other and get to feel that love that he was talking about. It's more than just an intimacy. It's a feeling of matter and really making sure that other people know that they can have an effect on other people. So we have a chance to make not only ourselves be that drop that creates a ripple, but have other people be the drops that create the ripple.
Absolutely. With some simple math, you can find out that for the 15,000 people here and the people like those of you tuning in at home, if you change one person's life each day and they go out and they change a life the next day, and then those that they touch change a life the next day, soon within 100 days we can touch everybody, and it doesn't stop there. It starts with us, and it's not going to end with us. We're going to keep it going.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up there. It was awesome. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
It was wonderful having you. Join us tomorrow for a special edition of NOAC Tonight, live from the Hodag at Cherry Lane Park. Visit noac2015.org/TV for a full schedule of streaming. I'm Mitch Leonard, and good night.